Hey everyone, TJ here. Thanks for coming back for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. And today I want to let you guys know what my top 10 politicians are in Washington. Most were elected into their position, but I got a couple here that are kind of in a post that they were assigned to, we'll say. And I got my top 10 and my reasons why. So I'll start with number 10, Mitch McConnell. Yes, I know Mitch McConnell reeks of swamp, but there's reasons for him being on this list. For starters, he has the nickname of the Turtle. He also has a less than flattering nickname called Cocaine Mitch. And from what I've been able to determine is, and the Cocaine Mitch was a term that his political opponents used against him in an effort to slander and slur him, and he came to embrace it and stick it right back in their face. And how he came to get that unflattering nickname was his wife's family owned a shipping company, and on one of their ships, something like 40 pounds of cocaine was found, and they never did determine who was responsible for that, and it was never really proven that Mitch or his wife was directly involved. They kind of figure it was a bad actor on his own, and I don't think they'll ever find out who tried to stash that cocaine on that one particular ship. But the reason why I put him on the list ultimately was I kind of like how he's rammed the Reid rules down the Democrats' throats. Harry Reid did some things, and he thought they'd always be in power, and Mitch McConnell warned Harry Reid back then that you'll regret ever doing this, and now Mitch is making sure they're regretting it. Number 9, Ben Carson, HUD Secretary, a really nice guy, and that's the hit on him, too nice a guy. Also a former neurosurgeon, and I remember in one of our previous videos talking about how the reason why I was never really a 100% Ben Carson guy, as nice as he was, is I was afraid he was too nice to be the fighter that we needed. He's the kind of guy you want in your corner, but I was just always worried that he was just too nice of a guy, and I still remember the interview he gave with Neil Cavuto, and in talking to Neil, Cavuto says apologetically to Neil, he says, I just need to be more prepared for the Democrats' hostility. And I thought, wow, what a horrible thing to say to a national audience about the politicians there. He needs to be more prepared for their hostility. Go into just how nice a guy he is. Okay, number 8, Louie Gohmert from Texas in the House of Representatives. His southern accent alone, if you've heard him on Sean Hannity, warrants him being on this list. Original Tea Party member, now in the Freedom Caucus. Just recently, he wrote a scathing piece on Robert Mueller titled Robert Mueller Unmasked. It's lengthy, but I would encourage everyone to give it a read, and he goes point by point and totally dismantles Mueller. Number 7, Jim Jordan, U.S. Rep from Ohio, solid conservative, and after the likes of Kasich, probably has redeemed Ohio. Member of the Freedom Caucus, and I always think of him as the designated thorn in the Democrat side. Number 6, Ted Cruz. Originally, I was a Ted Cruz guy. And I always think of the breakfast I had with my dad back in the presidential primary season. And we were talking about who all was running. And I knew in my heart it was going to be either Ted Cruz or President Trump. And in talking to my dad about Ted Cruz, I told him, I said, Dad, this is a guy you could vote for and not compromise any of your spiritual beliefs. That's just how good a guy Ted Cruz is. Unfortunately, that's the problem, though. And what I mean by that is I feel this country's become so morally bankrupt. My concern with Ted Cruz was whether or not he would appeal to mainstream America. And that's not a hit on Ted Cruz. That's a hit on America, okay? Number 5, Rudy Giuliani. Yes, I know he's not very conservative, but he's the kind of political animal and fighter we need right now. Big-time Trump defender. And I would say this, I wish some of the highbrow Republicans would learn from him and learn how to defend their fellow Republican brothers. Okay? Number 4, Dan Crenshaw, decorated ex-Navy SEAL. Lost his right eye in combat, and in reading up on him, he came dangerously close to losing his left eye too. True hero, solid conservative, and I would hope he's the future of the Republican Party. Number 3, Mike Pence, another really nice guy. I always think of Mike Pence as perhaps the moral conscience of America. The one worry I would have about Pence would be similar to my concern with Ben Carson. Is he too nice a guy to have the fight? However, he was a governor of Indiana, so I'm sure he's engaged in his own political combats of his own. Number 2, Bill Barr, current Attorney General, and I just really feel like we got lucky with this guy. I kind of wish Trump had picked him first, to be honest. He seems dead set on getting to the bottom of this whole Russia nonsense, and the Democrats don't scare him, and he's pretty much let them know that. And of course, now we have number 1, President Donald Trump, a true bare-knuckle brawler that I thought we needed right from the start. And in an odd sort of way, he might be one of the most transparent presidents that we've had in quite a while. He kind of wears his heart on his sleeve, perhaps. As far as if someone ticks him off, man, he's sure going to let you know. That's what it seems to me. Okay, so that's my top 10. Not necessarily set in stone. That's not to say in a month or two someone might come off and someone else might go on. Honorable mention, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. At some point she could go on this list, and maybe one of these other guys come off because they let me down or something. So, that's my top 10. And as we say here on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your 6, and don't tread on me.